Hi everyone. In today's class, we are going to discuss a chapter that is cell structure and function. This chapter is a very basic chapter of biology, and even this is very important for your higher classes. So, it's in my request that stay with me from the beginning till the end. So, let's start our discussion of cell. We all know that cell it is known as structural as well as functional unit of all life, and it is known as structural unit because all living organisms they are made by cell, and that living organisms can be a smallest living organism bacteria, and it can be a most advanced and a most complex organisms, that is human being. All structures, all living life that is made by cell, that's why it is known as structural unit of our life. Next we known it as a functional unit, and we known is cell is known as functional unit because a single cell that can perform all the functions that can perform by a life. That's why it is known as a functional unit. So in this chapter, we will study in detail about the cell, its structure, its component, and all cell organelles and all. In this diagram, you can see there are different types of cell. So we all know that in our body, in multicellular organisms, each cells they have their own shape, they have their own size. Just like a nerve cell, it has its own shape, own size. Just like in blood cells, it has own size, own shape. So this variation in shape and size that is due to its function. All cells they have to do their own respective function, a specific functions, and based on that functions, their structures are just based on the function they perform. Just like a nerve cell, if we will discuss about the nerve cell is an elongated cell. It is elongated because it has to pass the information throughout the body, and at the same time, just like in blood cells, the blood cells RBC shape is different and the WBC shape is different. And we all know that WBC it is an amoeboid shape. Its shape is not fixed. Its shapes that it varies, it keep on changing its shape, and this shape definitely help WBC to do its function. That means it help to do fight with the germs, unwanted particles that enter into our body. And similarly, we have a muscle cell, and the muscle cells they are generally elongated and a thin structure, and this structure help the muscle cells to do its function, that is contraction and relaxation. So similarly, just there are the many cells, there are the cells they are of different shape, and that shape depends on its function. So after this, next come to the discovery of cell, how the cell that has been discovered. Cell it has been discovered by a scientist that name was Robert Hooke. He discovered first cell, but that cell was the dead cell. Now how he discovered this cell? He just took a one slice, just one layer of cork, and cork it is made by an outermost layer of tree or the plants trunks outermost layer that is used to make a cork, and itself it is known as a cork. So he just took a one slice of cork and he observed it under a self-made microscope. When he observed it under a microscope, he saw this honeycomb like structure under the microscope, and in this honeycomb like structure, there are many compartments, and each compartments they are separated from each other by some partition. And Robert Hooke named each compartment as a cell. He called each compartment as a cell. So this is how cell was discovered, and it was discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665. He discovered dead cell, but first living cell that was discovered by a scientist that name was Anton van Leeuwenhoek. And first time cell was discovered by Robert Hooke, but that was the dead cell because that was the cork cell. Cork is a dead part of the plant. And first time living cell was discovered by Anton van Leeuwenhoek. So now next move to the next slide. So next we will do. So now let's do the different components of cell. Each cell it has three components. One is cell membrane. First one it is cell membrane, which is also known as plasma membrane. Second one is in cytoplasm. Third one is in nucleus. All these three components are present in all type of cell. First come to the cell membrane. Cell membrane is the outermost covering of all the cell. a cell that is covered by a cell membrane in an animal cell. But in case of the plant cell, this cell membrane is covered by one more covering that is known as a cell wall, which is made by cellulose, and it is very rigid and hard. But it is only in case of the plant cell. But in case of the animal cell, there are three components. Outermost is cell membrane, and this cell membrane is outermost cover. That's why it will protect the cell and even it's maintain the shape of cell. Next component we have nucleus. This one is the nucleus. Generally nucleus it is present at in center, but not in all case. Just like in plant cell, it is present in periphery because the center space is occupied by the vacuole, large central vacuole. So there are some space between the nuclear membrane, between the nucleus and a cell membrane. So this between these two area, there are some fluid which is present between nucleus and cell membrane. This fluid is known as cytoplasm. Cytoplasm. Cytoplasm, that means what? Cyto, it is made by two words. Cyto. Cyto, that means cell, and plasm, that means liquid. Liquid that is present inside a cytoplasm, inside a cell, that is known as cytoplasm. And all life activities, all reaction that will take place inside this cytoplasm. So now next come to third component, which is known as nucleus. Nucleus, it is again a very important component of a cell. Nucleus. If you will see a structure of a nucleus, this nucleus is surrounded by a membrane which is known as nuclear membrane. This one is a nuclear membrane, and inside a nuclear membrane there are some thread-like structures, and these thread-like structures are made by DNA. DNA, it is also known as deoxyribonucleic acid. D for deoxyribo, N for nucleic, A for acid. So these thread-like structures are known as DNA, and this DNA, and these are the some proteins. So this DNA and protein, it will form a structure that is known as a chromatin. And chromatin, that means what? When the DNA that is present in a scattered form, when the DNA is present in scattered form of DNA, that is known as a scattered form of DNA is known as chromatin. And before cell division, this chromatin, it will start to condense and come into a specific shape that is known as chromosome. So I will show you. So when DNA, it is in a scattered form, DNA is scattered form, it is not in specific any shape, not in any specific shape, that is known as chromatin. And when it will condense, it start to condense and it will comes into a specific shape, into a this shape. Now it is known as chromosome. So except the chromosome, inside the nucleus there is some fluid, and this fluid is known as nucleoplasm. So these are the some components of cell. They are the main three components of cell. Now come to the cytoplasm. If we will see the structure of a cytoplasm, it is a liquid which is present between a cell membrane and a nucleus. And this cytoplasm contains some solid structures. Here you can see there are some structures that is present in a cytoplasm. These structures are known as cell organelles. Okay, these structures are known as cell organelles. These are the cell organelles that is present, and each cell organelle, it has its own specific function. So now move to the next slide and we will do all organelles in a detail. So these are the organelles that are scattered inside the cytoplasm. Okay, just like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, mitochondria, and these are lysosomes, peroxisomes, mitochondria, ribosome present on the endoplasmic reticulum, and free ribosome, vacuole, centrosome. So these are the organelles that are scattered inside the cytoplasm. So let's do all organelles one by one. Okay, first. So just along with the nucleus, there are some tube-like structures. These tube-like structures, they are parallel to each other. It is known as endoplasmic reticulum. And if you will see the structure of an endoplasmic reticulum, and these are the some tube-like structures. These tube-like structures. So we can see that in some surfaces of endoplasmic reticulum, there are ribosomes. Ribosomes are present on the surface of endoplasmic reticulum. When the ribosomes are present on its surface, the surface become rough. That's why it is known as rough endoplasmic reticulum. And where ribosomes are absent, their surface are smooth. That's why it is known as smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So that means there are two types of endoplasmic reticulum. One is rough endoplasmic reticulum, another one is a smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So, and even the both reticulum has its own function. Rough endoplasmic reticulum, due to presence of ribosome, they synthesized and they form protein. And at the same time, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, they form lipid. And there is one more function of smooth endoplasmic reticulum, that is detoxification. It is also used to do detoxify the some toxic things that enters in our body with our food and all. So now next come to the next organelle. Next organelle, that is Golgi body. If we will discuss about the structure of a Golgi body, it is sac-like structures. They are again arranged in a specific pattern, and this is known as Golgi body. The main function of Golgi body is it is storage. It store the compounds or store the molecules that is synthesized by the endoplasmic reticulum, modify it, and it do the proper packing of that substance, and then finally dispatch it to the target site. It is the main function of Golgi body. So next come to there is one more organelle which is known as lysosome. Lysosome, it is in membrane, and inside the lysosomes there are some digestive enzyme, and these digestive enzymes, they can digest all foreign particles. Whenever any foreign particles that will enter into our cell, and this lysosome, it will engulf that foreign particle, and by using this digestive juice, it will destroy it, and it keeps our cell clean. Okay, next organelle we have mitochondria. This mitochondria, it is also known as powerhouse of a cell. So if we will see the structure of mitochondria, outer membrane is smooth membrane, but inner membrane contains some infoldings, and these infoldings, they increases the surface area, okay, that will help to produce a more energy. So mitochondria, inside the mitochondria, the glucose, it will oxidize in presence of oxygen. Okay, glucose, it will break down, it produce the energy. That's why it is known as powerhouse of cell, because it synthesizes or it produces the energy, and that energy is stored in the form of ATP. And the full form of ATP is adenosine triphosphate. And the next organelle we have vacuoles. In case of the plants contain large central vacuole. In case of the plant, if we will see the structure of plant, the plant has a large central, this is cell wall, this is membrane, and here a large central vacuole is present in case of the plant. But if we will see the structure of an animal cell contain a small vacuoles, but they are large in number. Just see here, there are
In the
small, they
main
are small
function
in
of
size.
vacuole is storage.
So there are many more organelles, just like a ribosome. Either they are present on the surface of endoplasmic reticulum or the cytoplasm, freely present in the cytoplasm. Their main function is
Synthesis
for
of
the synthesis
protein.
of protein. That's why it is known as protein factory. So these are the some this organelles, the organelles that is present inside a cytoplasm. So this is all about today lecture. So next we will do in the next lecture. Thank you, students.